Sports Talk. Let's go.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving Day to one and all. It's me, your boy, Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk, and welcome to a Thanksgiving Day edition of NFL Matchups. And we have, as usual, a lot to discuss. I know it's been a couple of days now, and everything has kind of settled down a little bit, but I do want to talk about the Shedeur Sanders and his start against the Las Vegas Raiders last week Sunday. Is a little bit of overhype, or is he underrated? I'll share my thoughts on that. Also, I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, the comeback boys. What a miraculous comeback, down 21-0, and they come back to beat the Philadelphia Eagles at home and setting up a really, really big matchup today against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about that. And, of course, it would not be NFL matchups if I didn't bring down every matchup going into Week 13 for every game, including today's game. So we got a really good, I would say it's a good slate of games today, I would say, with the exception of maybe the last one. We'll see. We'll talk about that. But other than that, man, pull up. I know it's early. I haven't eaten yet, right? But we're gonna get things started here in just a moment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is NFL Matchups with me, Ryan Flowers. You know what to do. Let's go.
We're gonna be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party. Baby.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to one and all. It's Thursday. That means it's Thanksgiving. And guess what? We got NFL action today. But before we move on, man, make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You see it below, Clutch Sports Talk Podcast on YouTube. As well, hit me up on the Grid Network. We have a bunch of other content creators that are doing their thing on the Grid Network. So make sure you guys check that out. Also, hit me up on TikTok at Clutch Sports Talk, as well as on Instagram at Clutch_sports_talk, man. We are streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube. Where else am I? I'm on TikTok right now, so I'm going back and forth, man. So please drop a comment, man. Say what's up. You ain't got to ask a question if you don't want to, or just let me know what you guys think of the show. But make sure to like, follow, and subscribe on any platform that you're watching, man. It's Thanksgiving, so help hook a brother up. Appreciate that, man. So, all right, man, let's just get straight into it. Shedeur Sanders. So a couple days ago in Las Vegas, right here, Shedeur got his first NFL start. His dad was in the stands. Family was in the booth. Mark Davis is hanging out with Dion a little bit there before or during the game. I don't know who God knows what he was doing. But let's talk about the stat line. I believe 11 for 20, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 55% completion rating, and a quarterback rating of 87.3. And I think he only got sacked once, which is really good. That's an improvement, right? Let's start with the good. Because I'm going to keep it real. Because for those who are on social media, we all know Shedeur Sanders is a very polarizing type of character, right? It's either you love him or you hate him. And then there's people like me. I'm kind of like in the middle, right? Because I need to see more, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let's talk about the good. I thought he was very poised this week around. He didn't drift back in the pocket, especially under pressure. So I did like that. I think he kept his eyes down the field a lot more this week than he did in his, kind of mop up duty the week before. So I'll give him that. His pocket, and that would include his pocket awareness as well too. So overall, that was good. Accuracy on the timing routes when they were able to get him off was okay. I was going to show some clips, but you know how YouTube is. If for those who actually do content, you can't really be showing NFL clips without getting some type of flag, and I don't want to do that to my channel or the Grid Network channel. So sorry, but I had it all lined up. I was going to break it down. Maybe I'll have to do a separate video and post it somewhere else so you guys can enjoy that. But we'll see. All right. Processing overall, he was a lot faster with the ball. There was times where he got it out and he was like, you know what? The deep route's not there. Let me just check it down. A lot of check downs, and that's okay. Not hating on the young man for that. You got to take what the defense gives you. I mean, that's just conventional wisdom in football, whether it's youth football, high school, college, NFL, whatever the defense takes or gives you, you got to take it. It's pretty much that simple. Okay. And so those were the good things that I saw. Now, the concerns, It might be, it depends. It could be subjective, but I'll say hesitation on the deeper concepts, right? Which meaning, he's got to wait a little bit longer. He's got to hold on to the ball slightly. That means climbing up the pocket instead of trying to back up and get around, defensive ends. Those, I can still see that. I think he's still holding on to his college days. And that's something he may be able to work out with more reps, more practice with the ones as he progresses. So, okay, not a huge concern there. Conservative decision making. He did miss some immediate wide open throws. I would say that. I wish I had the clips to show you guys because I had all 20 throws. I chopped up the video and everything. And there were some throws there where you're like, you can't miss that in the NFL. Now, I don't know if that's he's planting his feet or he's just not confident, which, okay, that's fine. Fair enough. Again, that's why we still need to see more of him as we move forward, right? You guys would agree. And then overall, I think the Raiders, as poor as the Raiders are on defense, or just as a team overall, he did struggle with some of the disguised defenses, right? There was a particular call, I believe it was like third down. They had showed blitz, and he just didn't handle it well because they didn't end up blitzing, and he didn't recognize that immediately after the post snap, right? So those are things that are going to, what's the best way? You need more time in the league to understand those types of concepts, right? This is his first time around, and it wasn't really against a great team overall. Okay. Now the question is, did he doubt his haters, right? Quote unquote haters. To a degree, I guess maybe some. It depends on how you look at it. Me personally, I don't think he did, but I will say this: he did show that he is more likely to throw the ball down the field than Dillon Gabriel, which I kind of think we all knew that anyway. Dillon Gabriel is very limited. He's not a very tall guy. Doesn't have a big arm. Shedeur is a very tall individual. He does have a pretty good arm, so he's more likely to throw the ball down the field. So we did see that for sure. Okay. Ball placement, it was some okay throws. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, this was like the greatest rookie debut of all time. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Maturity, it was okay. He's such a hard individual to talk about because if you say one thing negative, then everyone comes for you, right? And I'm trying to be positive because I think he's a good kid, but I'm just going to be real with you at the end of the day. Does he have superstar ability? Did we see that? I don't think so. Personally, I didn't see that, right? I thought he did a decent, solid job. He didn't come in here and say, oh, this is I'm pretty sure the Cleveland Browns are not like, this is our guy. I don't think that's the case. His confidence can be a little bit confused with cockiness. For those who don't know, I'm very conservative. I'm a conservative kind of guy. I don't like a lot of talking. Before the game, he's like, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote, but basically he's like, I'm the guy that they want. And it's like, well, I don't know, because they took you in the 5th round. So, and then they started a 40-year-old man, a guy that's probably not, well, Dillon Gabriel's not better than him, right? But they took him earlier, and then they had no option. So they're like, there you go. You got the keys to the car. Let's see what you got. Take her out for a little bit. But let's just keep it real too, right? And this is what people I like, and it's so blatant. And I wish I could show the tape. He threw for 209 yards. One of them was a really good deep ball to, I believe, Isaiah Bond early in the game, if I'm not mistaken. That was like, 66 yards. And then the other big chunk play came from basically a throwdown to the flat to his running back and Dylan Simpson. And that was like 55 yards or 52 yards. That's it. The rest of it was just dinking, dunking, and that was pretty much it. And so the people out there that are just like, oh my God, he proved he belongs in the NFL. I'm not going to say the old adage that say you don't know ball because I don't know what your experience is. But I think you're watching what you want to see, or you're seeing what you want to see at the end of the day. For a person like myself, I like to take everything in and just kind of overview it. It was okay. Now, it's going to get harder this week. You got the 49ers. And even though the Niners are banged up, that's still going to be a formidable game because Robert Saleh is going to come after him. You already see that. And if he does better in this game, okay. Keep adding, keep building. But we are so, and this is what I don't like about social media right now and society as in general. We are so quick to anoint people when they haven't done anything. And then we're upset when a couple games in or a year later, they're not who we thought they were. When in actuality, you should have just let it take some time, let it marinate. And I'm watching all these people on social media and like, oh my God, man, he's the best. And the Cleveland Browns would be stupid if it's like, man, Kevin Stefanski may not even be the coach there next year. Okay, let's talk about that, right? There might be a whole regime changing, and that new regime probably doesn't even want anything to do with Shedeur Sanders unless he comes out in the last 5-6 games and just lights it up. Now, the schedule is favorable, I would say. I mean, he's got some pretty hard matchups. You got this pause. You got the Niners. I believe he's got the Titans mixed in there, the Bengals at the end of the year. But you do got I believe they got Steelers in there. So some pretty formidable defenses at the end of the day. So, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to jump on here and just say he was so great because he was okay. He got the job done. The interception he threw was really bad, but he's a young guy. He's a young quarterback. I would have said the same thing for Dylan Gabriel or any of these young quarterbacks out here at the end of the day. And that's just the reality of it all. So for all of you people that are running the social media and they want to get the clicks, because that's really what it is, in my opinion. It's clickbait. They're either trying to rage people or they're just trying to go with the status quo of everyone and what they think or what they feel is the popular thing right now. And they're just saying, oh, yeah, man, he's the next. We don't know, man. We have no idea about Shedeur Sanders. So, and just to keep it a buck, it was the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible. And it's not me moving the field goal posts. That's who he played. So the Raiders are in shambles. Again, we'll see if he does good again this Sunday against the Niners. Then I'll come out here and say, hey, well done. Keep it up. Continue to play the way you supposedly you can play, and we'll see what happens from there. But I'm not going to overreact and say he is the greatest quarterback. I know people are like, oh, well, the Browns, first-time quarterback 7 won a game and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great. So what? It means nothing. If it's all about consistency. And in the day and age that we live in, we're not consistent. I've watched people, I go on their pages, or they come on my feeds. 1 minute they're saying this, and then the next minute they're like, they're flipping on the opposite. They're not standing on what they're talking about. And that's what's going to come down to this. Because what happens a year from now if Shedeur doesn't pan out? Whose fault is that? Are they going to blame somebody? Are those same people that are like, yeah, man, this is your moment. This is your time. Where are they going to be? They're not going to say anything because that's the type of people that are on social media. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm not hating. I'm just observing what I'm seeing. And I'm not like that. I'm just going to be very transparent with you guys. I'm not like that. I like to let things marinate. I like to see things pan out. And I get that you don't have that luxury all the time. But in this case, we do. Because where are we going? Where are the Cleveland Browns going? Nowhere at this point. So, but overall, I mean, the final verdict on him is that was it a franchise defining moment for him? No, it wasn't. It could be encouraging. It was definitely encouraging. Absolutely. But it wasn't this defining moment that like, oh my God, he's going to take the Browns to the Super Bowl. It wasn't. So let's see what happens in the next 3 to 5 starts. And we'll get the real story, not based off of one start against the sorry ass Raiders. Sorry, Raiders fans. It's just keeping it real. All right, man. So moving on, man. Let's talk about actually, what do you guys think, man? I mean, like realistically, those who are watching, comment on the Shedeur Sanders, man. If you're watching on TikTok, I know you guys are going wild here on some fantasy football stuff. I haven't had a chance to read that, but happy Thanksgiving there, Jules. Let me know, man. Like, am I tripping? I mean, I'm not trying to be a hater. I think I like the kid personally. I think he's a nice kid, but some of the stuff, and I was talking, and before I move on, I'll say this about there are some things to me that like people, and I've seen a lot of videos on this. They're like, well, why can't he be confident like some of these other white quarterbacks, like Jackson Dart doing the TikTok dances? And I'm not a big fan of that either. Personally, I feel like just score the touchdown and get back to the huddle. Like that's how I am. But Shedeur, he says things, and I get it. He's trying to be confident. I get where he's coming from. But bro, you have to understand the room. You got to understand the situation that you're in. When you're saying like, man, that's only 1 week. Imagine if I got a whole off. So you mean you're telling me that like it's that easy for you? I don't know, and it could be. I don't know, but it's the NFL, man. You don't. I guarantee you, guys on the Niners are right. They're watching that clip and they're like, oh yeah, oh yeah, all you need is a couple more weeks. Bet, right? They're gonna come after him. They're gonna come after him. And I get it. I get he's trying to kick the door down, and I'm not a race baiter. I'm not going to get into the whole white black thing. It's football, man. At the end of the day, what do the Cleveland Browns have to gain from sabotaging? I just and I want people to say that out loud. Like, what do they get from sabotaging him? What does the league get for sabotaging him? Like, if he's great, we need more better quarterback play. So if he's great, the NFL should want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they should want. But so that's why I don't get into all that type of stuff, man. Let all the football stuff be decided on the field, not that other shit, man. I just can't get with that type of stuff. But either way, all right, man. I digress. All right, moving on. Dallas Cowboys, big come from behind win this past Sunday against the Eagles. I don't know, man. I was watching a little bit of that game. I was at my son's soccer tournament, and it was like 21-0. I was like, all right, well, it's probably going to end up being like 42-7 or something at this point. Who knows, right? And then, I check back, and next thing you know, I see they get a touchdown right before the half. I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens. But I'll say this, man. Dak, for those that hate on Dak, man, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, is he Patrick Mahomes? No. But who is Patrick Mahomes? There's not a lot of guys. There's not a lot of Patrick Mahomes guys that have won as much as he's won. As much as we love to talk about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and all these other guys, Joe Burrow, guess how many Super Bowl rings more they have than Dak Prescott? I'll wait. 0. Right, 0. And this is one of the hardest jobs in sports. And I'm not saying that because I am a fan. I'm not being a fanboy. Trust me. Those that know me, I keep it real. Being a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys is one of the most hardest jobs in sports. The shit that you got to deal with and put up with on a regular basis. You got to be mentally tough. Between the owner, him getting in front of a mic, him getting on a radio show every Monday after a game, right? Or Tuesday, depending if they play on Monday, right? The stuff that, the contract disputes, and it's crazy. You think Jalen Hurts got to deal with any of that in Philly? No, it's all about football there. And I'm not saying that because it's like an excuse. I'm just saying that's the reality of it all. And Dak, for as long as he's been in the league, I can't believe he's been in the league, 10 years? 9-10 years now? Yeah, they haven't had a lot of postseason success. But at the end of the day, man, he's gotten the job done more often than not. And he got it done on Sunday. Simple as that. And those who want to hate on him and tell him that he's garbage, you might want to look in the mirror yourself, because a lot of you have not even accomplished half of what he's accomplished, even in college, okay? You couldn't do what he's done. Simple as that. So I love Dak. I think his story is great. He's had to battle through a lot of adversity. He was in if you think about it, he was drafted in the 4th round. This guy's maxed out. When you try to compare him to these other guys we think that are top quarterbacks who are all like 1st round picks, number 1 overall picks, and then you look at Dak Prescott, 4th round pick, man, out of Mississippi State. If there's anybody in the last 10 years that has maxed out their career, it's Dak Prescott, hands down, no doubt about that. But back to the game. I mean, he showed up, man. In high pressure moments, he delivered when he needed to. And I love him. I love him for that, man. Like, so, and one thing about him, I will say this, other than the other quarterback on the other side, he's a lot more aggressive. He is trying to push the ball down the field. And I'll talk about Philly in a second here. But he's not as conservative as he used to be, right? Because why? He has the weapons to do so. But the positive overall out of this is that the Cowboys did not fold. As a Cowboys fan I'm 41 years old. I've been watching the Cowboys since 1991, 92 maybe, give or take. It's a lot of football I've watched. In a lot of these situations, they would have folded. They would have completely folded, and they would have packed it up. But they got the touchdown at the end of the half. They went back in. Guys like Quinnen Williams, I read, was hyping the defense up, letting them know, like, hey, man, like, we got this, which we've lacked. So that was a very positive outlook for me reading about that type of stuff. George Pickens, dog. CeeDee Lamb, what are you doing? Listen, I was very critical about the trade for George Pickens. I was one of the first people in my group that was like, man, this shit is not gonna work. This guy is a cancer. But guess what? It's worked out. It's working out pretty well, I might say, right? Some will argue he's having a better season than CeeDee Lamb, and I get it. CeeDee Lamb did miss, significant amount of time due to that leg injury, ankle, whatever it was, right? But George Pickens has come up clutch in several occasions where CeeDee Lamb is like just dropping footballs left and right. I believe he had like 5 drops this past Sunday. Can't do that. You can't blame anybody. That touchdown that he should have caught towards the end of regulation that would have really sealed the game, that can't happen. Was reading my notes here. Does it keep them alive in the playoff? Yeah, it does. But they got a tough stretch, and it starts today. And we'll talk about that game later on. But overall, I was very proud of the Dallas Cowboys. That was a very gutsy, gritty win in a game that they typically probably should have lost. That they typically do lose, right? What does it mean for the Eagles? If you're an Eagles fan, I'm not. They're gonna downplay it, right? Because whatever, it's against the Cowboys. They're 5-1 now. Blah blah blah. But there is a problem there. There is a problem going on there. You put up 21 points in the first half, and then you don't get anything the rest of the game. Saquon Barkley, what, 10 carries, 20-something, 22 yards, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't pull up my notes on that, but if that's the thing, like, that's crazy to me. Jalen Hurts, what are we doing? He's supposed to be this guy again. People and reacting too quickly. Oh man, he's the greatest quarterback. He's good. He wins, and I get that. Winning and playing quarterback is just 2 different things, right? You could be a winning quarterback, but not actually be a really good quarterback. And I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's okay. He's had his moments in the past, right? But overall, he's pretty, I won't say mediocre, but he's pretty pedestrian. I mean, like, you look at the weapons he has. Let's think about it, right? You got Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, arguably a top 5 wide receiver duo in the league. Am I right or wrong? Let me know, right? You got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, that's 1. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, that's 2. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, when he's not spitting on people, they're in the conversation. Amon St. Brown, he's in there with J-Mo. Like, okay. And like, their passing game is just so suspect. Does he really need the running game to be that effective? I don't know, man, but I get it. He wins a lot. He's got the Super Bowl. He's got the Super Bowl MVP. So a lot of people will not listen to your argument just because of that. But when we talk about quarterbacking, is Jalen Hurts that good? I don't think so. And I'm not saying because I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm just bringing it all into the forefront and saying, like, yes, he's had really good games. I'm not denying that. And he has. There's no debating that. But overall, you got to win that game. You got to carry your team. And that's another thing. I don't think that's one thing that they're missing. He's too quiet. Who's the leader on that team? It's not him. You think right now he can go up to AJ Brown and tell him, hey man, we gotta chill with all this stuff that you talk. Man, AJ Brown would slap the shit out of that fool. I'm telling you. Jalen Hurts is content just being the quarterback there. He just wants to get through his day. That's it. He's that type of quarterback or player that I can assess. Obviously, I'm not in the building. I don't know what they're talking about. And like I said, I'm just basing off of what I see from what I read. He's just very content, like, hey man, like, we're just here to get the job done. I'll see you guys. You go your separate way, I go my separate way. You'll never hear anything about his leadership ability. And they'll continue to win because why? They are a talented team. And that's why you can't count them out. Because if they do figure it out, they're gonna be unstoppable. But that's the scary part. They got to figure it out. Offense has not looked good all year. They're lucky they made the moves that they did for the defense because the defense is the only thing that's keeping them in it at this point. They still have one of the most complete rosters in all of the National Football League, and And they controlled most of that game, if not all of it, until the very end. So, those are some good things if you're an Eagles fan that you're like, okay, yeah, we lost the game, but you know what, man? We should have won that game. We should have won that game. So I'm not going to count them out, but I will say this. They're not as dominant as they were last year, right? The Rams could have them. The Rams could beat them for sure. You look at some of their losses this year. You're losing to the Giants. You're losing to the Cowboys. The Cowboys should have swept the Eagles this year. Technically, if CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop the ball in the first game, the multiple drops that he had, who knows? Cowboys win that game and they sweep the season series, right? So I'm not that concerned with them, but they're gonna have to pick this up here. They're gonna have to figure something out. They gotta understand that maybe Saquon just isn't the same guy anymore, which rightfully so. And that's the reason why the Giants gave up on him. And it just happened to turn out that he had a really miraculous season last year. And it might have been an outlier at the end of the day, right? Because I'm not going to blame Joe Shane for what he did. I probably would have done the same thing, and people probably would have been clowning me too. But at the end of the day, you got to know when to let someone go. And maybe that was it. Maybe that was Saquon's final, just go for it all gusto. And now he's just a run-of-the-mill type of running back. Who knows? I mean, he it's a lot of miles on that dude's body and all the injuries. So they're going to have to figure that out. Or Jalen Hurts is going to have to carry the team because a lot of Eagles fans, they're like, oh, yeah, he could do it. Okay, well, let's see it. Let's see it. And then the other thing, I saw this Dan Orlovsky and Ryan Clark, who are just two idiots. They were trying to school Cam Newton, and they were like, oh, well, he's almost got the same stats and less interceptions than Dak Prescott. Well, you don't throw the ball. He's a check down. He's a check down guy. It's obvious. He's not looking to push the ball down the field whatsoever. Dak is he's going for it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Hey, what's up, Ben? He says, happy Thanksgiving, Ryan, to you and your family. Today is pretty much a playoff elimination game for both Cowboys and Chiefs. Winner has a chance to run the table. Loser may miss the playoffs. Yeah, I agree with you, man. And I've been on this show talking about the Chiefs. Like, man, hey, they're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna make a run. Hopefully they don't beat my Cowboys today, but I got allergies. But it is what it is. We'll see. But hey, happy Thanksgiving to you, man, and your family as well. All right, man. Let's get it moving, man. Excuse me, man. My allergies are killing me right now. TikTok, they're going crazy. They're asking fans, should I start Dak or Lamar? Who are the they're playing the Bengals, right? I believe the Lamar Jackson is. Man, listen, Lamar has not looked like Lamar Jackson all year. I don't know if it's the injury, but he is not that what's the word? He is not I can't think of the word. He doesn't want to run. It's simple as that. So I probably would go with Dak, man. Honestly, I think the Chiefs defense could be had. Granted, the Bengals defense is pretty bad, but Lamar Jackson hasn't really been a barn burner this year. That's just my opinion, but I digress. All right. Let's get into these games, man. Let's break down some matchups here on NFL matchups. So those that are just joining, man, hey, man, drop a comment. Let me know what's up. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, man. What do you guys eat? And drop in the comment, what's your favorite dish? What do you eat? Me personally, there's a couple things that I see that I just need to go and get. I'm not Muslim, so I eat pork. I got to get the ham, man. Honey baked ham. That's it. And dressing, stuffing, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's me. Mac and cheese, it's got to be cheesy, though. I love cheesy macaroni and cheese. And then I got to have cranberry sauce. Anything else, I'm okay. I'm not a big turkey guy. But if you give me that ham, mac and cheese, stuffing, dressing, whatever you want to call it, and some cheesy, creamy macaroni and cheese, the mood is set. I'm just telling you that right now. Let me know what you guys think. What you guys eating on today for Thanksgiving? But all right, man, let's get into the games. Let's talk about Detroit at home taking on the Green Bay Packers. Oh, hold on, we got a comment here. We can get going. Ben, he says he likes turkey green bean casserole. Oh yeah, pumpkin pie. Yeah. All right. Man, you know what? You and I, Ben, I'm not a casserole kind of guy, but the pumpkin pie, we're twins there, brother, because I love me some pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie. I'm not a big sweet potato pie guy, but pumpkin pie, tearing it up. All right, we got Detroit at Green Bay. The line that I had from Fox Sports was Detroit was -3 over under 47.5. Detroit, for me, it's pretty simple. Run game and avoid turnovers. That's it. That's it. Green Bay, in order to win this game, create pressure. You got Micah Parsons. You get after the quarterback. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. It shouldn't be that cold like it was a couple Sundays ago when Jared Goff lost to the Eagles. But definitely it's going to be a little slight drop in the temperature there. But as far as the defense is concerned, the Packers, you limit big plays because that's how the Lions, that's how they operate. Big plays between Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon St. Brown, J-Mo, no Sam Laporta. But if they can create pressure, limit big plays, they have a chance to win this game. Although I do like Green Bay at home to win this game. I don't think that Detroit's not as good this year. So Green Bay is going to be a lot better at home, I think. If this game was indoors, maybe I might. Oh, no, the game is indoors. I'm tripping. Game is indoors. I'm tripping. Sorry. I flipped it. Game is indoors because it's Detroit. Duh. So thanks for that. So I still like Green Bay. I think it'll be a close game, but I like Green Bay in an upset technically because Detroit is favored to win this game, but I do like Green Bay. All right, Kansas City at Dallas. Kansas City on the road, -3.5 over under 52.5. For Dallas, for Kansas City, get the ball out quick, Patrick Mahomes. This pressure, the front seven has improved for Dallas. We've seen that in the last 2 weeks now. They can get after it a little bit better. So you don't want to be holding the ball. So that's one thing. And then for the defense, for Dallas, their keys to victory, you got to have to pressure Mahomes, and you're going to have to win the turnover battle. They're going to have to force some turnovers. They're going to have to steal a couple extra possessions in order to get Dak the ball. But in the end, I think the Chiefs might prevail in the end. I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win this game at -3.5. As hard as it for me to say, and this is why I'm telling you, I'm loyal to the Cowboys, but I'm not a fanboy. I'm not going to just pick the Cowboys just because, like, this is a big moment for both teams. I like both quarterbacks, but who do I trust in this situation more? It's probably going to be Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Simple as that. So that's why I'm going with the Chiefs. All right, we got Cincinnati and Baltimore. Baltimore -7. This is the nightcap. On paper, it should have been a good game. Joe Burrow is playing, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. As far as Cincinnati is concerned, short passes, clock control. Avoid any turnovers. Keep Joe Burrow upright. Try not to allow him to get hit, and you got a chance, right? If you're the Baltimore Ravens, you're gonna have to get out. You're gonna have to get after Burrow. Hasn't played in a while. Force some turnovers, and they have to win the trenches. If they win the trenches in this game will be over quick and in a hurry. With that said, I like Baltimore to win this game, although I do love Joe Burrow. I think he's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. It's just a tough matchup to come back into. It's not like you're playing, like the Titans or something to kind of ease your way back into it. You're playing against a hardened veteran team with a veteran coach in a division game. I like Baltimore to win this game. So there you have it. All right. We got Friday, Black Friday, Chicago and Philadelphia. Philadelphia is -7. Chicago's defense is not bad. It's not bad. So for them, they're going to have to pressure Jalen Hurts, get after him. The running game is non-existent for Philly at this point. So if you can find ways to get after Jalen Hurts, keep him in the pocket, you have a chance from an offensive perspective, short passes, because Eagles pass rush is very good or better with Jalen Phillips, I'm just talking, is a lot better. So Kellen Williams, you can't be holding on to the ball looking for those deep shots. You're going to have to find short passes, intermediate routes, get the ball in and out, and you should be okay and stay alive. As far as the Eagles are concerned, pressure the quarterback. Caleb Williams still is a turnover waiting to happen, in my opinion, even though they're like 8-3. I don't really believe in them all the way. So if you can pressure him, just like any quarterback, you'll force some mistakes, and they should be good to go. And if the Eagles can just somehow, because their offense isn't as potent, you're going to have to control the clock a lot more, because you don't want your defense having to constantly be out on the field, because then the Bears will have it out for them. I mean, you keep any defense out there long enough, they're going to start finding some chinks in that armor, and the Bears have the weaponry to do so. So they're going to have to do that. But in the end, I don't think the heart of a Super Bowl champion is going to allow them to lose 2 games in a row, especially in a big matchup like this on Friday. I like the Eagles to win this game. Moving on. I've got some comments here real quick. Ben says momentum is key. He's talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Chiefs game. Just squeaked by the Colts last week. I'm going Cowboys. All right. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. He likes the Cowboys. I want to go with them, but the Chiefs find a way to get it done. They typically do. He says, I might be in the minority, but Joe Burrow shouldn't be playing at this point. Bengals pretty much have no chance in postseason. Even if they win the rest of the way, they'll be done. Yeah, I get it. But from a business standpoint, the Bengals want him to play. And I think from a competitive standpoint, I don't think he wants to sit on the bench anymore either. But conventional wisdom should tell you he shouldn't play at all. If he is your franchise, and he is their franchise, you shouldn't play him. You shouldn't play him. But, we don't get paid the big bucks there, man. 9 wins will not be enough to make. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. All right, we got San Francisco San Francisco and Cleveland. San Francisco minus 4.5, over under 36.5. It's pretty simple, man. For the Niners, you got to pressure the quarterback. You have to find a way to get after Shedeur. He doesn't handle it very well, like most quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks. So if you do that, which I think they can, I think Robert Saleh will dial up a couple exotic blitzes to be able to get after him, and it should get the job done. As far as the offense is concerned, clock control. Just be steady. Just be steady. No turnovers, things of that nature. And if you're the Cleveland Browns, stop the run. That's the first thing you got to do. CMC is there. You got to stop him, because if he gets going, play action's there. And I get it. They don't have a lot of guys out there anymore other than George Kittle. They're still formidable. They're still well coached. I like that. And Cleveland, you're gonna have to force a couple turnovers. Brock Purdy can do that. So you're gonna have to force a couple turnovers for him to have a chance. But in the end, I like the 49ers to win this game. Running away. So all right, Jacksonville at Tennessee. Jacksonville minus 6.5, over under is 41.5. Listen, Jacksonville, you're not that good. I hate to break it to you. You barely walked out Arizona with a win, but against Tennessee's secondary, dude, you better take advantage of that. I'm talking deep throws down. I was gonna say deep balls, but deep throws down the field, man. Take advantage of that secondary. It's so garbage. It's terrible. If you could do that, they'll win the game. This should be okay. As far as Tennessee, I don't know, man. They got to find a running game. You got to find a running game to help your young quarterback. It can't always just be on him dropping back. He's going to get murdered. All right. So run plus play action gives you a chance in this game. But I'm going to take Jacksonville. Although this is the division game, I do like Jacksonville to win this particular game. All right. Let's see here. We got Houston. This is a big one too. Houston, Indianapolis. Indy is minus 4.5. Over under is 44.5. Listen, I am part of the group that thinks that is it Davis Mills? Is that his name? Davis Mills, I do believe, from Stanford, should continue to be starting for this team, for the Houston Texans. I liked CJ Stroud. His first year was good. And then it's just kind of after he big broed Caleb Williams last year, what it was, it hadn't looked good. Davis Mills has won 3 games in the National Football League. Like, how do you go away from that? In my opinion, I don't see you until the kid loses. You got to roll with that. But I think they're going to go with CJ Stroud. I don't know, but as far as keys to victory for teams, Houston's best pass rush. I think they're the best defense in the National Football League, total defense. So that's good that you have that in your pocket. Right, you got one of the best defenses in the National Football League. How many sacks did they have against Joe? Was it like 8 or 9 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, against Josh Allen and the Bills? Man, that defense is nasty. I mean, just straight up, just like out of Satan's kitchen. I mean, they're good. So with that said, you got to get after Daniel Jones. Get after him. You got a chance. And they're gonna have to run the ball a little bit too, because although Davis Mills has been winning, he can't do it all. He's not that kind of guy. So if you can run the football, stay balanced, they should be okay. As far as the Colts are concerned, attack when you can, but just be mindful. that pass rush is going to get to you at some point. So keep it short, right? Their offensive line is much improved. I know that over the last couple of years they've been injured. They haven't really been as good. But running the football is going to help alleviate some of that pressure. If they can do that, they got a chance. I'm going to go to an upset. I like Houston, regardless of who the quarterback is. I like Houston to go on the road and beat Indianapolis. I think they're on the road. But either way, I like Houston to win this game and beat Indy. So there you have it. All right, New Orleans and Miami. Miami -6. I feel like we haven't talked about Miami in a while. Pretty simple for Miami. Protect your quarterback and control the field, control the possession of the field. New Orleans Saints is not a good football team. They're just not. They don't have really anybody out there that I'm that concerned of. Quarterback play. It's again another young guy. Chris Olave. He's a good talent, but yeah, it is what it is. Like he's not lighting up the world right now. They have older veterans like Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan. This team is not going anywhere anytime soon. Simple as that. So if they're able to keep Tua upright, control the field position, should be no problems. They should comfortably win this game. If you're the Saints, you're gonna have to find a ways, man, to get vertical, get the ball down the field, make big plays, and when you get in the red zone, you cannot settle for field goals. You're gonna have to get touchdowns every week when you play everybody. Field goals do nothing for this team because they're not that talented. You're gonna have to try to win the game early and just prepare. But I don't think they can. I like Miami to win this game. All right. Atlanta and New York Jets. Atlanta is favored -2.5, over under 39.5. Atlanta, man, explosive plays. You got the guys. You got Drake London. You got Bijan Robinson. You got Kyle Pitts. Make big plays. Kirk Cousins is the quarterback. We'll see how he plays today against the Jets defense that, I'm not saying they're world beaters, but they could be formidable from time to time. I will say that. Kirk Cousins have to limit his turnovers. He can't turn the ball over. He's had a history of doing that. As far as the Jets are concerned, pressure the quarterback. And then from an offensive perspective, I don't know, man. Tyrod Taylor's your guy. You have to dink and dunk down the field. Keep the game close. If they keep the game close, maybe you can get in a field goal position or maybe get in a field goal battle, and that might be your ticket. With that said, I'm going to go with Atlanta just because they have more talent right now than the Jets, especially offensively. I like Atlanta. I won't say I like them, but I like the situation that they're in over the Jets. If they're probably playing somebody else, I might say I will go with the other team, but I'm going to go with Atlanta on this one. All right, Arizona taking on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is just depleted, man. They got their ass whooped Sunday night. That I was looking forward to that game, but then quickly you're like, yeah, this one's over. I started watching soccer because I was like, this game's over. They started off hot, but injuries really have derailed this team. Baker Mayfield, I don't know if he's even playing. He left the game against the Rams. Teddy Bridgewater had to come in. Arizona is a very feisty team. Very, very feisty team. The only thing, if this game was in Arizona, I probably would go with Arizona, but I'm not. But as far as keys to victories are concerned, Arizona, they're going to have to win those third downs on defense and offense. Get off the field on defense and convert on offense. You got to keep the ball, right? And they're going to have to pressure whoever the quarterback is. If it's Baker, he's not 100%. If it's Teddy Bridgewater, he was just not in the NFL not that long ago. So he's not the same Teddy Bridgewater. As far as the Bucks are concerned, pressure Jacoby Brissett. He's not a mobile quarterback. And they're also going kind of like with the Falcons. I would say not the Falcons, but the Miami Dolphins. I was telling you, they're going to have to score. I mean, not the Saints. Talking about the Saints. You have to score when you get in the red zone, right? You can put away Arizona rather quickly if you get on top of them. Pause. But because Arizona's been in a lot of close games, man. Like they're not a team that's just getting the doors blown off them. They're not. They're losing close games. But I don't know, man. This one's too tough to call. If I'm gonna bet this game, I might go Arizona plus 2.5. Honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, I might go plus 2.5 because Arizona, although they're traveling to the Eastern time zone and a lot of West Coast types of teams, when they travel that distance, it's tough. But because the Buccaneers are so injury plagued, I think that kind of brings everything back down to a level playing ground. So I'm not gonna. I think the Bucs will win, but if you're betting this game, I would probably go under. And I would probably bet plus 2.5. That's what I would do. That's just my opinion. So take it or leave it, right? But I think Tampa can pull it out, but it'll be a close game. All right, we got the LA Rams taking on the Carolina Panthers. Interesting game. In a sense where it's like, well, Carolina, they're not like dominating people. Granted, they're one game above 500 or something like that. But they've shown that they can be kind of formidable in certain situations. Now, you beat the Packers one week and then you lose to the Saints. Like, that's kind of weird. Then they went on Monday night. I wouldn't say that game was like close, but they kind of hung in there for a little bit, I guess, in the end. But Rams are minus 10.5 favorites. So obviously Vegas does not think this is going to be a close game. Over under is 44.5. As far as the Rams are concerned, just dominate the trenches, which they can do. So they can do that. And they got the weaponry, they got the running game, you got the passing game. That's going to be a focal point for Carolina. They're going to have to stop the explosive plays that the Rams can create in order to win this game. If they don't do that, this game will be over by halftime. So, however, though, I do like the Rams to cover. I would probably take minus 10.5. I don't think the Carolina is that good. I think the Rams are just that much better at the end of the day. So I like the Rams to cover in that game. All right, Minnesota at Seattle. Let's see here. Where's this game played at? Oh, it's in Seattle. So Minnesota taking on their former quarterback in Sam Darnold. Seattle is minus 10.5 favorites. I can definitely see that because J.J. McCarthy is not good at all right now. As far as Minnesota is concerned, limit the big plays that Seattle can make, especially at home. That place is going to be rocking. It's Thanksgiving Day weekend. They're gonna support their boy Sam Darnold. So that place is going to be rocking. As far as Seattle is concerned, get after McCarthy. Get after him. Is Max? Oh, is that Team Zamora says Max Brosner is starting? I think for Minnesota. Okay, well, whoever the hell that guy is, that's probably why it's minus 10.5 as well too. Even if it was McCarthy, Brosner, whoever the hell it was, Seattle should win this game. Running away, they're at home. They got a sick defense. Oh, McCarthy's in a concussion protocol. He says, okay, yeah. So yeah, if there's any luck of the week, it's probably this game. You got the second string quarterback in Brosner. Never heard of the guy. Minus 10.5. I'm taking that all the way. Seattle's defense is going to get after this guy. The way we're going to be tearing up our plates this evening, they're going to be tearing up Minnesota on Sunday. That's a lock. I'll come if that's not a lock. I'll come back next week and be like, dude, I got it wrong. But that's got to be a lock for me. That's got to be a lock, hands down. All right. He says Max Brosner is an undrafted free agent from Minnesota. All right. That's why we never heard of the guy. All right, Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Buffalo minus 3.5. Over under is 46.5. Again, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Buffalo, man, Buffalo, blah, 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 blah." They're cool, man. Like they're all right. He's cool, but like they're not that good. They still got some weaknesses. The one good thing going for them is that they're playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is on a downturn. They're sliding. And it's not looking good. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is playing this game. I would assume he'll be back because this is a critical game for them to stay in the hunt, to stay in the playoff race, right? Because I don't think they're winning that division. I think Baltimore is on top of the division now, and Baltimore is getting a little healthier. Pittsburgh Steelers aren't. So as far as Buffalo is concerned, protect the ball, man. That's the biggest thing with them, and it really comes from Josh Allen. He can't turn the ball over. Protect the ball and run the football. You got James Cook. He's a pretty good running back. Do that. Pittsburgh, you're going to have to get after Josh Allen. Though you saw granted, I don't think the Steelers can generate the pass rush that Houston was able to, but you have to get after him. You have to keep him corralled. He is going to give you a ball that you can go and get from a turnover standpoint. So, obviously, this is going to be a close game. I think if this was in Orchard Park, I would probably say, they run away with it. I still think Buffalo will win this game. I think they're just a little bit better right now than Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go with Buffalo at minus 3.5 to cover in this one. All right, we got the Raiders and Chargers, division rival. Chargers are 8.5 favorites. 40.5 is the over under. I don't know what to say about the Raiders, man. They suck. I mean, They fired Chip Kelly, and that's supposed to be like, all right, we're good now. That should have been happening. Matter of fact, he should have never been hired. Like, think about it. Chip Kelly was making like, I don't know, like 4 million last year in college at Ohio State, and then they gave this fool $18 million based off of what? Like, he's never been a good NFL coach, whether it's, head coach or like. This is why the Raiders are not good. They continue to do stupid things like that. And then, obviously the last week's loss, they had to sacrifice somebody. The week before was a special teams coach. And then a week later, now they got to offer. They had to offer somebody else because they're not firing Pete Carroll no time soon. So Chip Kelly is the scapegoat in this case. Offense does suck. We'll see how the new offensive coordinator gets after this week against Cleveland, a formidable defense. Not against, the last week was a formidable defense. I'm sorry. This week they're playing the Chargers, which I don't know what Charger team you're going to get. Like, 1 minute they're looking like the greatest team in the world, and the next minute they're just getting their ass beat. So the Chargers have this Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. I don't get it, but I lost my thought here. So Raiders, in order to win this game, quick passes, man. Like, Geno Smith cannot hold the ball. He's gonna have to find Brock Bowers early. He's gonna have to find Trey Tucker. I don't know. I don't know who the hell is on their roster anymore at this point. But maybe run the football. I don't know. I mean, you spent a high pick on Ashton Genty. Why don't you just run the kid instead of running him like 7 times a game? Try to force it to him. Find ways. We'll see. Maybe that's the way they go this week with a new mindset, new game plan. I don't know. Chargers, just pressure the quarterback. Geno Smith, he is a turnover waiting to happen, right? Like, literally, he will give you 1 or 2 or 3. So with that said, I like the Chargers to win this game. The Raiders have nothing positive. If it was me, and I was telling some people the other day, I would just tear that whole thing down. I would trade Max Crosby. I would trade Brock Bowers because they need players. Those 2 guys are not enough for them to win. That's just a fact. Trade all those guys, get the draft picks, maybe trade for other players. I don't know, but they need to just tear that whole thing down and start from scratch. But the problem is that I believe if they were to fire Pete Carroll, it'd be like 3 or 4 coaches they're still paying Gruden. You're still paying Josh McDaniels. You're still paying Antonio Pierce, right? I think you're still going to have to pay Chip Kelly and the special teams coordinator. And then you fire Pete Carroll. That's like 6 or 7 coaches you're going to be paying that are not even working for you anymore. So that I don't know how Raider fans do it. It's probably why they drink a lot. I will say that because supporting them is like basically just banging your head on the wall. And I mean, I'm in no real position to talk, but at least the Cowboys have won the division a couple times. They've made the playoffs. Like, when was the last time the Raiders made the playoffs? I don't even remember. I don't know. Quarterback play has been terrible. And here's the thing about it. People used to hate on Derek Carr. Derek Carr was your only bright spot of that whole franchise. It wasn't his fault that they did not succeed. Derek Carr was a really good player, right? But they ran him out of there because the fans are just retarded. I don't know if I can even say that, but they were. So if you did not like Derek Carr, you're an idiot. I'm just telling you, you're an idiot. Simple as that. Because Derek Carr was in the last 20 years, he has been the only bright spot in your organization. And I'll leave that there. All right, Denver at Washington, Sunday Night Football. This on paper should have been a good game, but Jaden Daniels not playing. Denver doesn't really play an exciting brand of football. So as far as Denver is concerned, control the tempo, right? They don't need to get up, go down. Just control it, be smooth, force some turnovers, which I think they will. And then as far as the Washington concerned, try to find a way to pressure Bo Nix. Bo Nix, to me, is very inconsistent. And that's why I don't really like Denver as like a real contender. The defense is a contending type of defense, but the offense, not so much. And that's really particularly the quarterback play. Because you throw on the TV sometimes, you're like, damn, Bo Nix is ass. And then later on in that game, you're like, damn, this fool looks good. So you just don't know with him. He's another Jekyll and Hyde kind of guy. But as far as Washington concerned, you're going to have to, if you get in the red zone, you got to score touchdowns again. You have to score touchdowns. But I do like Denver. The defense is just too good. And I think they can overcome the lackluster performances sometimes Bo Nix offers. So I like Denver on that Sunday night matchup. All right. And finally, to wrap up wrap up week 13, we got the New York Giants taking on the New England Patriots. New New England is favored at -7.5. Over under is 46.5. I believe Jameis Winston is starting this game as well. If you're the Giants, stay close and push the pace and force turnovers. But stay close and push that pace. And we know Jameis Winston, he will throw that ball down the field. He will do that. Patriots exploit the weak run defense that the Giants have at this point. And if you do that, man, they'll be all right. And then really, at the end of the day, just find rhythm on offense. If they can do that early, get some easy throws for Jake May, get him going, it should be okay. Obviously, New England is the better team. 7.5. That's a pretty good spread, I would say. If it was a little bit lower, I would say they cover. But I just got a feeling though that the Giants will probably end up covering this game, man. I don't know. Something's telling me they'll end up covering. So if I'm betting this game, I'll probably take Giants plus 7.5. But I do like New England overall to win this game. So there you have it. All right, man. That's it. That's Thanksgiving Day NFL matchups, man. It's a pretty good show. Thanks for you guys in the comment section. Team Zamora, Ben, appreciate you guys. Those in TikTok, you guys are going crazy in fantasy football over here. But make sure if you guys haven't already, man, go out and be thankful today. Enjoy your time with your family, friends. If you're going to drink responsibly, you know all that stuff, man. Like, not saying don't have a good time, but just be smart, man. Don't be stupid out there, especially it's the holiday season. So a lot of that's going to be going on. But just be thankful, man. Like, listen, if life isn't perfect, I get that. But it could be worse. You couldn't have a life. So some people didn't wake up today. And that's what you got to remember. So just be grateful for everything that you have. And I appreciate you guys for watching and taking your time on this early Thanksgiving Day morning to watch me, your boy Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk, here on NFL Matchups. I will be back next week, Tuesday, for Week 14 of NFL Matchups. But make sure you like, subscribe, support the content, man. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your turkey day. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. This is your boy Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk. Like I always say, never settle till the work is done. We'll see you guys next week.
Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go.